Hey guys, welcome back. It is another week at the homestead. And as you can see behind me, we're out by the woodshed. And let me flip the camera around. We have gloomy weather. It's been kind of sprinkling off and on, so I'm going to try to see what I can get done in the gaps between the rain. It's been kind of just misty rain, but yeah, there's not much for sun. But I got all my main lumber for the addition to see how far we can get, at least get the frame up, and then I'll look at putting in. The other thing I did that I didn't film is I sealed the bottom of the posts where they're going to be sitting on block, similar to what I did the same thing on these posts, except what I did differently on these is I burned the very bottom. I took a torch to the bottom and burned them, but I can still see where the block is soaking up. You can kind of see a little bit of moisture here where the dirt's sitting. So they're not soaking a whole ton, but they're up off the ground, so they should. I'm not too worried. Like I said, it's a woodshed, so not a huge deal. We're not putting a ton of money into this, so we can always replace it. But I'm gonna got stuff kind of cleared out of the way, and I'm gonna get my post set. And I've gotten everything. You can see here where I've cut off, where my planks for the addition are gonna tie in, and they'll butt up against those as we go up. And then my 2x6 for the back here will go there, and I'll have to do the same on the front, but I'm gonna try to get at least the one post up and squared off, and we'll see how that goes. So I'll bring you along for that. Well guys, let me flip the camera around just kind of again. So we got the rear top plate on. It's getting windy, the header, however you want to look at it. And did some cross bracing just to kind of hold it in place. But the rain is starting to come again, so I'm going to pack up for a while and see if the rain clears. But at least I got that. So next up will be to get my header from that post to this post figured out and measured. I got to cut that one back way up. Well, it's kind of hidden behind the canvas up there, but I got to cut that one back about 2 inches so that I can set it on that post. And then this time I'll hopefully remember to notch the post and then lop it. This time I didn't do that last time, so I'll kind of get that done, and so I can just set it up there, get it all set. But it's raining, so I'm gonna get my stuff inside where it's dry, and we'll see if we can make it back out today. If not, we'll be back tomorrow. The sun is trying, but you can see there's clouds, so I think it's going to be a partly cloudy today. It looks like it's trying to clear up a little bit. You know, there's still, and then if I look to the horizon over there, which is where everything's coming from today, it's a little darker over there. So we'll see how much we get done. I did get some stuff done yesterday. I started the outer frame for the floor, and I'm going to buy 2x6s for it just because it's going to take me way too long and I want to get this done. So I already have some 2x6s on hand, so I just got to buy another half a dozen 2x6s. I have the sheeting for the floor ready, so we're good there. But yeah, so we're going to get that done. I'm in the process of working on, I actually got the front and the rear headers done, or top plates, however you want to look at them. So I'm going to start getting my 3x3 rafters up, and once I get those up, then I'll look at putting my purlins up across my 2x4s and do all my blocking, and we'll kind of see where I go from there. If I'm gonna go and do the walls, or if I'm gonna put the roof on it just to get out of the weather. Haven't quite decided yet. If it's not too windy, I might try to do the roof and just get it covered so it stays fairly dry in here. And then if it stays dry, I'm gonna get the table saw out and we'll try to start ripping the 1x's down into a square, so they got a square edge on them. And we'll start putting the walls up and getting it closed in that way and framed in. And because we're gonna have to dig, I have to dig down here a trench to the house for a couple things. One, for our propane's going to be housed in here, and that's probably going to be in that corner. We'll put our 3 propane tanks in here. The generator will be here in this front corner, and I'll build a wall on top of the floor here to kind of box this in, and we're going to put exhaust venting and air intake and an exhaust fan to kind of keep the cool air, get fresh air in here, keep it cool in here, keep it ventilated. But then we're going to have the exhaust vent out this side away from the house, so it's a little quieter, and then you don't hear the generator noise as much, and that'll kind of get us set up long term. So when we do get our propane generator down the road, then we just have to run a line from the tanks over to this corner for the generator. So right now we're just going to continue to use gas. But yeah, anyhow, so we're going to get that done. I'm going to try to get the roof done as much as I can, and then we'll start on the walls and we'll just see what the weather does. Hey guys, sorry. I realized after I started working on this that my phone wasn't recording. So got all the rafters up, the 3x3 rafters. I got my blocking done. I got to cut off my purlins because they're way long. And then I got 2 rows of sheeting. It's dirty stuff because it's been sitting out and getting dust and grime and stuff on it. So it needs to be washed off. Good heavy rain will clean that up. But I'm going to cut those purlins off. And then I'm going to cut my next sheet. And that'll be it. So I'll have a couple small scrap pieces. I could seam this one, but I want this end one to be one piece just because it's going to be on the end. And I'll get that all screwed down. But I'm going to get these purlins done, and the roof is done, and we can start working on the side. So I'll have to get the table saw out and start working on that. Well, as you saw, I had to seam it anyways because you know the old adage of measure twice, cut once. I thought I had the right measurement down on one of the boards, and it was the wrong one. So of course I cut it about 10 inches too short. So I had to cut a 2-foot strip and overlap at top. Not a big deal. I mean, it leaves me with a little scrap piece there and another little scrap piece. So I'm fine with that. I was actually worried that I wasn't going to have enough just to finish it, but I did. So the roof is done, the addition's done, and I might not have to buy any 2x6s because underneath my steel, I realized that I still have 2x6s, and it looks like there might be 16 feet there. So it's going to be like 14 or 16, but I have a couple there, so I might not have to buy so many, or if any at all, hopefully not. So yeah, so we're going to see what that comes to. I got to measure that, but to make sure, but that makes me a little happy because that's extra wood. But other than that, the top is done. Now I can start working on this wall, get this all closed in. Hi guys, I got one side almost done. I got to do the bottom edge down there. I got to fill that in, but I'm going to wait till I have scrap pieces for that where I can kind of rip down pieces that don't fit for the wall. So I want to use those up first. And then these ones that are going to be shorter, I'll cut out of stuff like that stack right there, the first stack. Those are all too short. They don't fit on the wall. But yeah, it's kind of what it looks like. We got that side still wide open. But we'll just keep plugging it away. I mean, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let it dry a little bit, let it shrink. There'll be get some air gaps in it. But it'll be, for the most part, weather tight. And we'll get that done. But that's going to be it for today. Hi guys. It didn't get as far as I wanted to get done for this video, but I got a pretty good start. I didn't get as much wood out of it. Let me flip it around. As I was saying, this stuff needs to be ripped down. I mean, you can see all the scrap over there already. But this needs to be ripped down and see what I can get out of that for that wall. But I want to do a little bit of framing. I'm thinking I got an old window I want to put in here just to get some light in that end. And then this is pretty much ready to go. I'm really happy with how that turned out. You can see a couple of these boards were sitting out in the sun, so they actually are starting to fade a little bit already. But we'll get the cross bracing off here next. But I need to mill a lot more because this is nowhere near enough to finish that side. So even if I do a window in here, I'm still going to have to cut through it all and that fun stuff. So, but yeah, and then I started getting the floor joists in, and I should have enough to do everything here to get that in and get the floor in. I got to dig a small trench here for an electrical conduit. And then over in that corner, I got to dig another one for our propane line to go back, because we're going to feed the propane and our generator electrical come back through, well, kind of where the yellow cord is. I'm going to run it a little bit farther towards them, over that way more. But I got to dig a trench so I can get it buried underground. So that'll be a project before I get the flooring done. But I'm going to just try to get as much of that done now before I close it up. So that'll probably be the next week's project, is digging that trench, getting more wood on the sawmill, and probably doing some firewood. I might have, now that I got this far, I need to take a break and get some firewood done so that I'm ready for the winter. We got to clean a bunch of stuff out. So, but anyhow, that's going to be it for this week's video, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and follow. I know we get a lot of people that watch, and if you've watched this far, we'd really appreciate your subscribing or following our channel. And we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.